Hi, I'm Will Hesketh and this is Functional Yoga. So we're going to get going almost immediately, but I just want this intro in every time to remind you to make space around yourself, to make time to practice, to get rid of any distractions, and to just be playful, grateful, compassionate towards yourself, and just be ready to get going. Appreciate how amazing you are. Okay, so every week we're going to be picking a theme and we're going to be focusing on that theme. That doesn't mean it's all going to be breathing, which is this week's theme. It means that the emphasis is going to be on breathing. We're going to cover full body movement, we're going to cover functional movement, but the emphasis is going to be on how we breathe as we move. Okay, so with that in mind, your feet come to hip width apart, your knees are a little bit bent, and your hand comes onto your belly and one onto your chest, if you're happy to do that. If you prefer to have your arms by your side, then you can do that. If you're happy to close the eyes, you might close the eyes. Give the toes a bit of a wiggle, shift the weight forwards and backwards gently in the feet. And then just notice your breath. So as you inhale, you might notice your belly move, you might notice your chest move. As you exhale, you might notice it move again. Just paying attention to each breath as it happens, experiencing it moment by moment, awareness of your breath. And then maybe just see, could you direct the breath down into your belly area? So as your diaphragm draws down, the belly expands, and as the diaphragm goes up again, the belly relaxes back in. So as you inhale, belly expands, and as you exhale, belly relaxes back in. Inhale, belly expands, exhale, diaphragm moves up, belly comes gently back in. And then just see, maybe you could breathe just using your rib cage. See how that feels. So then the belly stays fairly still because the diaphragm's not doing an awful lot. But the ribs are expanding, the shoulders are even getting wider. Breathing up into that rib cage if that feels okay. You might notice it makes you feel a different way. So then let's see if we could just breathe into the belly and then the chest. So now we're getting that full breath, and then breathe out from the belly and then the chest. So breathe into the belly and then the chest, and then breathe out from the belly and then the chest. See if you could breathe just through the nose. Don't worry if that doesn't feel comfortable though. You can always breathe through the mouth if you need to. You could purse the lips to get that little bit of noise, or you could restrict in the throat if you're breathing through the nose, so it gets takes us towards like a full ujjayi breath. So as you're breathing in, you restrict gently in the throat, very gently. I'm exaggerating it. And as you breathe out, again, you restrict very gently in the throat. See if you can avoid that sort of forcing of the breath. Make it really subtle and gentle. Let's just go for 4 more breaths, similar to that. If it doesn't feel comfortable, remember, just don't do it, but just notice your breath, just be with it. If you feel overwhelmed by thoughts and you're constantly distracted, then just take some bigger breaths. Maybe even just swing your arms a little bit. that's where we're going to come to anyway. So maybe just starting to swing the arms forwards and back. As you swing the arms backwards, maybe move your body forwards a little, and then the opposite, move the body backwards a little as the arms come forwards. So you just get that little gentle swing into it. And if you feel comfortable, you could start to lift the heels off the floor a tiny bit. Just give the toes a wiggle first. Just check the foot's all warmed up. And then as you start to lift the heel a little, think about gripping through the toes a tiny bit. So just a tiny little movement through the foot, just warming the foot up. If there's any pain in the foot, don't do it. Maybe just wiggle the toes a bit and just get the foot moving in another way that feels comfortable. From there, we're going to start to bend the knees a little. So as you bend the knees, just keep the same thing going, just with bent knees. And then straighten the legs out. And then bend the knees a little. And then straighten the legs out. Just feeling your way through, warming your body up. Trying to keep those knees, ankles, hips in line with each other. Trying to keep those toes in line with the ankles and the knees and the hips as well. So you've got that straight parallel work, parallel line. Really nice. Okay. Try a little bit of side to side with your arms. So they come across your body and they come out, come across and they come out. Just gently letting that happen, feeling your way through. Try not to hit the wall like I just did. Really nice. Just getting mobile. Okay, so we're going to go for an arch and tuck of the lower back. So as you inhale, we're going to anteriorly or forwardsly tilt the pelvis, so the belly comes forwards and the lower back arches. As you exhale, we're going to tuck and think about pulling the belly in towards the spine, lengthening that lower back out. Pelvis tilts posteriorly or backwards. So if you look at that from a side angle and you can see it looks like this. Inhale. Arch the lower back, exhale, tuck and flatten that lower back off. Inhale, arch the lower back, exhale, tuck and flatten that lower back off. Let's go for one more. Inhale, arch the lower back, exhale, tuck and relax. Step it out for a few moments. So that arch and tuck is going to really sort of punctuate most of the movements we're doing because we really want to have an awareness of the pelvis and the lower back. So the next thing we're going to start to do is going to be coming down a bit further, bending the knees a bit deeper and reaching the arms up and forwards. Now from here, inhale, arch the lower back a little, exhale, tuck. So feel that breath as you do it. Doesn't need to be a big movement, but just try and pay attention to that breath coming down into the diaphragm, the belly, expanding, the lower back arching, just getting some movement into the lower back in this chair squat position. Bring yourself back up slowly whenever you're ready. Shift the weight forwards and back again. Give the toes a little bit of a wiggle. Get that movement through the foot again. You might go for a slightly higher heel lift. You might move the arms slightly more, and then you might start to swing from one to the other. So then we come from here with an inhale, and then we go back down into that chair squat with the exhale. Try and think about gripping the floor a little bit with the toes. Give them a wiggle regularly. Don't get static in the foot, don't get dead in the foot. Make sure you're working right the way through that lower leg. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling as you come down and back. Again, if you feel comfortable to breathe through the nose, try breathing through the nose, clearing out the sinuses a little. Nice and deep, nice and big breaths, hopefully starting to raise some energy through the body as you go. And if you want to, you can start to swing it a little and see how that feels. So I quite like to do it like this, where you do one and then you wait and then sit down and back. So you go one and then you wait for a swing and then sit down and back. So just experiment with how that feels. So you can do it every other swing, or you could do it every swing. This tends to be a bit more enlivening. Careful with that one, we don't want to pass out as we're doing it, so don't get carried away, but just feeling your way through the body, getting that sort of freedom as you start to swing. Really nice. So give the legs a little shake out, give the arms a little shake out, give the hands a little shake out. From here, we're going to be looking at rotating at the shoulder joint, let's call it. So we're going to be externally rotating our upper arm and turning the hand all the way out as far as possible. Just imagine you're trying to touch your thumbnails together behind you. Obviously, it's highly unlikely you'll do that, but just trying to see if you can bring those fingernails to face towards each other. And then from there, bring it all the way back round, and it's the little fingernails that face each other. So all the way out, all the way back round. Inhale as you come out, think about the chest now. Exhale. Inhale. Expand that chest. Try and keep those shoulders nice and wide. So trying to pinch the shoulder blades together. Really nice. Finally, we'll just do a little bit for the neck. Just let the chin come down towards the chest. And again, focusing on the breath. Imagine the breath coming down into the belly, bringing it up into the ribs. And when you get to the top of the ribs and the collarbone area, just allow the back of your neck to come back up. So allow your head to come back up, I should say. So as you exhale, the chin comes down towards the chest and it just stays there. As you inhale from bottom to top, and just as you get towards the top, just let that head come back up. So hopefully what you'll feel is that your head comes down, the back of the neck lengthens. You breathe in from bottom to top, your spine lengthens and gets taller, and the back of the neck lengthens even more. And then you allow it to gently come back up as it feels natural to do so. So exhaling, chin comes towards the chest, inhaling, filling your way up with the breath, eventually letting that head come back up very gently. Next up, we're going to take some nice gentle side bends. So just very gently allowing your arm to come down the side of your body. Try and keep the spine nice and tall and long as you go, allowing the head to come over a little as well. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, gently over to one side. Inhale, back to the center. Gently glide it over in your own time. Feel your way through it. Don't follow at my pace, go at your own pace. Really try and tune into that breath as you go. Notice all the sensations as you go, paying attention to that movement. If you want to do it eyes closed, you can do it eyes closed. Gradually start to bring yourself to rest whenever you're ready and you're feeling even on both sides. Okay, so we come on to the first of our functional style movements. We're going to look at drawing an elbow back and turning the palm of the hand back. So a nice functional exercise for the arm, which we need to do when we run. So when we run, we get this movement through the arms. So we're going to try an inhale and then an exhale. Push the arm back. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, push the arm back. So think about keeping the spine tall, the shoulder girdle wide, so that's where the breath starts to come into it. The opposite hand can go forwards to make it more realistic as well. So if you think you're coming right from the bottom, building up with that breath, wide across the front of the chest, wide across the back of the shoulders, really just so inhaling to prepare, exhaling to get that movement. Think about keeping control of your abdominal muscles, and they're what's going to turn your spine slightly as well. So we're rotating the shoulder girdle in the spine. really trying to keep that spine tall. Imagine someone's got hold of your rib cage and they're lifting it up. Someone's got hold of your head and they're lifting it up a little. Tall, functional rotation of the spine and shoulder girdle. Relax whenever you're ready. Now, step your right leg forward and your left leg back. We come into a runner's lunge position. Weight comes onto your front foot. The knee is bent. Now, the thing that tends to happen is the foot collapses and the knee comes inwards. So from the front that looks like that, and the hips will maybe push out to the side. What we're trying to do is keep that knee exactly where it is, in line with the ankle, toes in line with the knee and the ankle, and the hip in line with it all. Same on the back leg, lifting that back heel a little bit and sitting down into it a small amount. Now, the elbow goes back on the right arm if the right leg is forward. So as you inhale, lengthen up through the spine, broaden across the shoulders. Exhale, elbow goes back. Inhale, bring it back, straighten the legs out. Exhale, sit down a little. Inhale, bring it back up. Spine as tall as you can, shoulders as broad as you can. Exhaling as you move into the position. Inhaling as you come back up to reset. Exhaling as you move in. Inhaling as you come back up to reset. See if the whole time you're doing it, you can keep your front leg pulling backwards and your back leg pulling forwards. So as you inhale, set yourself up. As you exhale, bring yourself down into it a little. Give the toes a little bit of a wiggle. Check the knee alignment, check the knee ankle hip alignment. Really try not to shift those hips to the side. Really nice. Bring it back up when you're ready. Same thing on the side. So the thing that makes this tricky is the alignment. So really pay attention to that. If you've got a mirror, you can look in the mirror. You can look, do your hips push over to one side? Does your knee come into the center or out to the side? Work the legs against each other. Remember, back leg pulling forwards, front leg pulling backwards. Tall through the spine. Big inhale to set yourself up. Wide across the shoulders. Exhale. Bring your way down. Inhale. Bring your way back up. Exhale. Elbow goes back on that left arm. Inhale. Bring your way back up. Check that leg alignment. Keep that spine nice and long. Chest lifted. Shoulders broad. So it's like a functional lunging position. Just gliding your way through. Think we're just getting these muscles to glide as we go. Try and think about keeping that little bit of tuck of the pelvis. Really nice. Whenever you're ready, bringing yourself back up and having a little shake out. From a standing position, feet hip width apart, we're going to go for a leg lift. Now this is a lot more tricky than it sounds. What we're trying to do is minimize drop in of the knee and push out of the hip. So I'm going to mirror, so you go on your right leg, weight comes onto your right leg, lift the left heel off the floor, keep the hips as central as you can, take a big inhale, broad across the shoulders, long and tall through the spine, keep that position as much as you can and see if you could take your right foot off the floor with minimum shift to the side. Put the toes back down as and when you need to. So what I would suggest is trying to shift your whole body towards the left, towards the side of the foot that you've lifted until you have to put the foot down. Then you start to feel, right, these are the muscles I need to be working to stay central as this foot is lifted. As you bring your way over, let the foot come down, bring your way over, let the foot come down, and then find a position where you can just hold it. Keep the toes close to the floor in case they have to come down. From there, the foot is either just hovering around the calf or it's just toe touching, tickling the floor, and exhale. The knee comes out to the side, we come into this tree position. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, inhale, bring it back to the center. So just feeling your way through, making sure that you've not just got lazy, put the foot on the calf and just leant into it. So you're not just sagging down into this position. You're tall through your spine. You're broad across the front and back of the shoulders. Your body is as central as it can be. So almost like this leg has just been taken away and the body stays completely still instead of leaning to the side. Exhale. bring it out. Inhale, bring it back in. Last one. Bring it back in. Give the toes a wiggle, give the feet a wiggle, step it out for a moment. Same thing on the other side. Weight comes onto that left foot, a little bit of a bend in that left knee. Give the toes a wiggle. Pelvis neutral, remember that arch and tuck, find that central point. Abdominal muscles engaged, and we go for that lift with minimum shift. So lift the heel, light on the toes, and then minimum shift of the hips, the ribs, or the knee. So the knee tends to want to come in, and the ribs tend to want to go to this side, and the hips as well to make it easier. Sometimes the hips will push this side, but just see if you can monitor it as best you can. Place the foot either onto the calf, toes down on the floor if you want to. Exhale, knee comes out to the side. Inhale, knee comes back to the center. If you want to make this more tricky, you can close your eyes. It's already pretty tricky though if you're keeping a central position. Focus on that breath. Really nice. Let's go for 2 more. And last one. Place the foot down, step it out. Lovely stuff. Right, we're going to add 2 things together now. So that action we've just been doing, we're now going to bring this to a lunge position. Right leg forward, left leg back. Maybe go a little bit deeper now. From here, we're going to adopt that runner's position. So left arm forward, right arm back. Tall through the spine, broad across the shoulders, long in that spine, long in the back of the neck. From here, as we exhale, we're going to rotate that back leg out in the same fashion we've just done, so the heel comes down. The opposite leg is going to come around. Don't feel like this needs to be one exhale when we're just going through the technique. And then we turn the opposite leg out and bring the back heel round, and then we're in a lunge on the other side, and we bring ourselves into that runner's position. So I'll show you a little bit of pace. Really take your time when you do this. Watch out for twist of the knees. So it looks like this. Big inhale and exhale. So the inhale is really energizing, it's getting the rib cage expanding, it's getting that length through the spine, keeping the abdominal muscles engaged, keeping that lower back long. Exhale, bringing your way around in one fluid movement, making sure you're rotating at the hip and using the feet to allow you to move from one runner's lunge to the other. So just feeling your way through with the exhale. Move, inhale. Inflate yourself, keep that width across the shoulders and that length through the spine. Really nice, just feeling your way through. Let's just go through 1 more each side, just working your way until you're even on both sides basically. So you might need to do 2 more. I need to do 1 more from now. Really nice, and bring it back, step it out. Lovely, simple stuff, but really paying attention to that detail, and that's where it happens. And obviously focusing on the breath too. Feet step a little bit wider now. So we come into this sort of sumo squat position. From here, it's a similar sort of action with the leg and the foot, but we don't go quite round to the lunge. We're going to go from a warrior 2 leg position to a warrior 2 leg position on the other side. What I mean by that is the knee is tracking over the foot, the pelvis is tucked to a neutral position, the back heel is down, the back toes are facing wherever they need to face to allow this sort of open position of the pelvis, which brings a little bit of a stretch on the inside of the thigh. So we're gently changing from one side to the other, try and work the feet as you go, rotate the thigh bones, take your time, exhale as you go, pause, inhale, add the arms if you want to, wide arms, exhale as you go, Pause, inhale. Reach wide with those arms. Exhale as you go. Pause. So this is warrior position, looking towards that front hand, tall through the spine, broad across the shoulders. Maybe telling yourself you're a warrior. Maybe affirming some kind of positive thing that gives you strength as you move through this position. Especially on that inhale. Exhale, focus on the movement and the feeling. Inhale, bring the arms out wide. Bring yourself into a dignified, tall position. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, walking those feet back in towards each other and step it out. Okay, we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to change the arms, which is going to make things completely different. So the feet come a little wider. Make sure that it feels safe and comfortable. Don't force it. From here, we're going to be rotating the thigh bone to turn our way round to one side, like we've just been doing, warrior two legs. Rotating the thigh bone to turn ourselves round to the other side. Feeling your way through. Now, there's the opposite arm that comes across the body and reaches up into that side angle. Try and bring the arm down and then over, as opposed to reaching it over the top. It tends to be a much more comfortable and natural position of the shoulder. So just gently. So it's the same thing. Inhale as you come through the center. Exhale as you push up and over. Inhale as you come through the center. Exhale as you push up and over. Nice big reach. Nice control through the legs. So just gently gliding through. Only going with what feels comfortable for your range of movement is what I'm trying to say there. Give the toes a wiggle regularly. Feel your way through. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, just starting to walk the feet back towards each other. Step it out. So we're going to bring ourselves down onto our backs. So just take your time, sit yourself down and bring yourself down onto your back. Get nice and comfortable. Once you get there, have a shuffle around. Okay, so comfortable position on your back, feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Have a little wriggle around, get comfortable, and whenever you're ready, just inhaling to gently arch your lower back. So that's like that arch and tuck we were doing at the start. Again, just moving the pelvis. Exhale, gently tuck the lower back towards the floor. So I'll show you what that looks like. As you inhale, gently arch. As you exhale, you gently tuck the lower back towards the floor. So lower back from the pelvis, just moving. Breathing as you go. And by all means, stick with that. There's no need to take it any further if you don't want to. But if you do want to take it a bit further, inhale, arch the lower back. Exhale, get that tuck on. Push into the feet and then peel your way up through the spine, bottom towards the top. Just lifting slowly. Inhaling as you get towards the top. Exhale, slowly lowering your way down, top to bottom. Inhale, gently arch that lower back. Exhale, gently tuck. Peeling your way up as you inhale. And then exhale, lower your way down, top to bottom. Inhaling to gently arch. Exhaling to gently tuck. Peeling your way up through the spine as you inhale. inhale. Exhale, lower your way down the spine, top to bottom. Last one, inhale, gently arch. Exhale, gently tuck. Peel your way up. Inhale. Exhale, lower your way down, one vertebra at a time, just feeling your way through the spine. Really nice. Walking the feet to the width of the mat whenever you're ready. Leaving those feet at the width of the mat, just exhale very gently, let the knees go a little way to one side. Inhale, back to the centre. Exhale very gently, let the legs go to the other side. Just feeling your way through. Big inhale as you come to the centre. Exhale. Let the legs go to the other side. Big inhale as you come to the centre. Exhale, let the legs go to the side. Just feeling your way through. Just enjoy it. Take your time. Allow your head to turn to the opposite side if you want to, or allow the head to go to the same side if you want to. It's up to you, but just feel your way through. The only important thing is that you pay attention and make sure that there's no pain. Just enjoy it. Take your time. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, coming back to the centre, bring one knee into the chest, bring the other knee in to join it and hold them both in. And then just have a little rock side to side. And if you want to, you could rock front to back. Just see how it feels for you. If you're feeling lively, you could go right the way through the spine so you get that full rock through. Just see how it feels. And if that's too much, you might just be hugging the knees in. You might not even be rocking. Whatever works for you. Whenever you're ready, straightening the legs out. Take your time. And then put your fingertips on the front of your hips. And just think, you're trying to push the sole of your foot towards whatever is below it. So in my case, it's this little wall thing here. So I'm pushing the sole of my foot towards it. And then I'm inhaling, exhaling, pushing the other sole of the foot towards it. Inhaling, exhaling, just feeling your way through. Just gentle side to side hinge of the hips and the lateral bend of the spine. And if you want to add the arms, you reach the arms above the head. If you've restricted for space, you can keep the arms folded like I'm doing, or straighten them out if you prefer. And just think you're trying to reach the same arm as the leg. So as the leg reaches away, the arm reaches away in the opposite direction. You get that curve throughout the whole spine. Just feel your way through it. Just imagine your whole spine moving. Pay attention to where's moving and just feel your way through. Exhale as you go, inhale as you come back. Exhale as you go. Inhale as you come back. Relax whenever you're ready, and let's just bring ourselves into Savasana. So a nice thing to do before we get there is just bend the knees, put the feet flat on the floor, put your hands behind your head, and just very gently clamp your forehead with your forearms, and then just lift your head a tiny amount off the floor. Just let the back of the neck lengthen out. Just feel your way through that lengthening in the back of the neck. Very gently let the head come back down and rest. Straighten those legs out. If you're uncomfortable in this position, you can always put something behind your knees, or you could just rest with your feet on the floor. And just bringing your attention to the breath once more. Noticing the belly move, noticing the chest move. If you want to, you can put the hand on the belly and the hand on the chest so you can feel that. And let's see if we can get into that breathing again. So breathing down with the diaphragm into the belly. Up into the rib cage and the shoulders, right the way up to the collarbones. Exhale from the belly. Exhale from the chest. Just feel your way through that. So it's belly, chest, belly, chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now I'm going to count a couple of breaths. Feel free to join in, feel free not to join in. Just see how it goes. Don't force it. As you inhale, think of a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you exhale, count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if there's any more to push out gently. Pause for a moment. Inhale when you feel you need to. Big inhale and then exhale slowly. Letting everything out of the lungs. Longest exhale you can without forcing. The longest pause you can without forcing, without feeling like you're grasping at anything. Inhaling whenever you're ready. One more of those in your own time. So you inhale as deep as possible without forcing. You exhale as long as possible without forcing. You pause as long as possible before the inhale, without forcing, with gentle, compassionate, long breath. Just letting go now of any attempt to control the breath and allow the breath to happen. We don't have to think to breathe, our body just does it. So could you just notice it without thinking to breathe? Is there anything else you could notice? Clothes on the skin, sounds, sensations, thoughts, feelings, emotions. Just letting it all happen moment by moment, breath by breath. Awareness of your awareness. Just nice and gradually in your own time, maybe start to move the face. If you want to start to move the hands and the feet, you can move the hands and the feet. You could stretch out if you want to. You could give the face a roll. Whatever feels nice, just finish off. In your own time, gradually, just starting to bring your way back up. No rush, take time. From any comfortable seated position, just take a few moments. Sit up as tall as feels comfortable. Remember, you don't need to be cross-legged. You could be sat in a chair. Let the chin come towards the chest. Let's do one more of those nice deep breaths, breathing down into the belly and feeling it rise right the way up through the rib cage, lengthening out the back of that neck, which eventually brings the head back up. Opening the eyes if you've not already done so, slowly. And we'll finish there. Thanks very much for joining in. I'll be back on Wednesday with another session.